Good afternoon, it's Neil Getz from the group, and I'm just along the road from Netherton of Logie. Just a couple of miles along the road is Berrybrae. So I thought I'd pop along here since it's relatively nice afternoon and I've got a good signal. So a quick walk through Berrybrae. So this circle, it was, when it first was documented, was described as being almost a perfect circle, and it's not that now. So I think in the last 150 years, or maybe 100 years, it's had quite a lot of stone damage, and the central cairn was robbed, and some stones have been removed. However, what the recent surveys have done has identified where most of the stone circles would have been, although they're not longer there. So it's going to be a bit of a kind of walk round what's here, and a bit of a ghost walk round as well of what should have been here. But the orientation of the circle, the recumbent, is looking a bit kind of southwest. It lies in the middle of a field. It has quite a large protective area around about it, built up round from the surrounding field by a small wall, maybe about up to maybe knee height, but quite substantial. I mean, it's certainly been here during the summer, and it's been like a kind of place that you'd ideally have a picnic. So, and then the central circle as well has got a fence, although like most of them are in a fair bit of disrepair. So as usual, the recumbent setting here is we've got number 1 stone, or the west flanker. It's a monster. Now I often say things like substantial and monster and big, but this is a big stone. But although it's relatively thin, it's quite wide coming to the centre of the stone compared to the recumbent, and compared to what's left of the other flanker. So it is if I stand beside it, it's a good couple of metres high, and it's a good elbow to fingertip wide, but probably a good couple of arm lengths wide at the most of it. And it does give the appearance of a relatively square stone, but it is for a flanker, it's massive, very well dressed, good right angles, good flat faces. And then come on to the stone number 2, or the recumbent. It seems to have, you can't help but think it's had a fair bit of knocking about, but it's a difficult thing to kind of describe what shape it should have been, is, because most recumbents are either really nice and square, rectangular, flat faces, good right angles, or they're like Netherton of Logie, where they're just basically nice big round boulders. But this is a bit of a mixture. So you can either surmise it's had a fair bit of damage and been knocked about, or tried to be reduced, because that face there's, would suggest it's been tried to be reduced, or it's been deliberately shaped in such a way. But if trying to get a top of, get round the other side, it's not the kind of the front face, if you like, looking into the circle from the recumbent side, is fairly flat, and it's fairly common to have that kind of feature on the recumbent, but it's just the sides and the inside is a bit irregular. Now that might be because of number 3 stone, or the second flanker. It's certainly been reduced. There's remnants of it just sitting beside it. So with the other stone circles, it's other stones of the circle missing, it's relatively possible that this recumbent stone's had a fair bit of knocking about and damage, tried to be reduced, having bits taken out of it. Like most circles, this would have had a cairn in the middle of it, and it's certainly documented as having one when it was initially sketched out and looked at, but it's clearly been robbed and gone. So, number 1 stone, fairly impressive flanker. Number 2 stone, the recumbent, a bit odd shaped, but it's quite, I mean, it's quite big. If I stand as close as I can to it, it's up to my eye level. So it is quite a tall stone. It is a good 3 meters long, and width-wise, it's, you know, it is a good stretch of the arm wide. Unfortunately, we'll not know what number 3 stone's like, or the second flanker. It's pretty much broken up. But red granite, pretty much like Netherton Logie. Now, what great kinds of stone go to great lengths of describing is the recumbent coming round to about here, and the 4th stone being round in the circle arc about where I'm standing just now, and then coming round. They reckon that there's evidence of a socket for stone 5 around about here. Clearly there's the remnants of what was the cairn, or a bit of a kind of build up to protect the circle from the surrounding field when it was maybe rotten furrow type. Coming around here, they reckon that stone 6 would have been around about maybe here, which is directly at the back of the recumbent, and again graded as well, so that massive flanker you'd imagine be matched by a fairly chunky second flanker, maybe pointy, since that one's quite square, and maybe decreased in size as they come round. And then 7, and I'm not going to go into the brambles, but 7 being around, maybe around about just to here. 8, and then 9 and 10 are the remaining circle stones. So I'm getting tangled. As I said, I wasn't going to be. So the only 2 circle stones that remain is 9 and 10. So we'll have a wee quick look at them. Come back to the back of the stone. Now, as circle stones go, this is quite a chunk. Again, well dressed, flat faces, nice right angles. If I try and get up to it, the ground's a wee bit further away. It's maybe up to shoulder height for me, and you know, it's a good arm length wide, and maybe elbow to fingertip deep. And then number 10 stone, again, it looks like it's well embedded in the circle side, but kind of well eroded on the outside. Could maybe see it's maybe been either re-erected or such, or that might have been what's happened with the missing circle stones, as the field essentially got eroded and they just fell out, if you like, and then got kind of dragged away or reduced. And it, made the dike, stone dikes or something like that of the field. So, and this is us back to the recumbent setting. There is some evidence of curbstones, but I think they're starting to kind of disappear now. But yeah, and there's when being here in the summer, this bramble section here is pretty severe. Trying to get anywhere near it is almost impossible. But yes, so it looks like this this circle stone, this recumbent circle, has had a fair bit of work or damage done to it over sort of the last between 200 and 150 years ago, or maybe less than that. It was certainly discovered as a fairly perfect circle as it was described. I can only imagine I had the circle stones round about here. These have since disappeared. It is odd to me that a good half of the circle stones, maybe 3/4 of the circle stones, are missing. And the recumbent looks like it's had a fair bit of damage, and certainly the flankers had a fair bit of damage as well. So that's a little bit of walk through for Berrybrae. Hope you've enjoyed that.